everyone. Welcome to Get My Class. So let's solve this question which says which of the following statement is false? Option A, transgenic animals can be made more sensitive to toxic substance than non-transgenic animals. Option B says testing in transgenic animals will allow us to obtain results in less time. Option C says transgenic animals carry additional genes that make them more favorable for testing. Option D says the procedure of testing toxicity of drugs is different from chemical safety testing. Now let us see the question. It says which of the following statement is false? So let's go one by one. The first one says transgenic animals can be made more sensitive to toxic substance than non-transgenic animals. Yes. Okay. So sometimes what happens if we have to check the toxicity of a particular component, it can be a medicine, it can be medicine, or it can be any recombinant technologically produced hormones or peptides, etc., which have to be used for human applications, I would say, or used for human betterment or human health betterment. For that, before we release it in the market, before we take it to the people to be used, we check for this toxicity of that particular component. Okay, though we have produced the medicine, though we have produced the hormone, though we have produced peptide or whatever we have produced, we have to check before we actually allow the people to use it. So that is what is toxicity test. And how is it done? It is done by giving these medicines to model organisms. Okay, we give it to model organisms. Now these model organisms, it can happen that they may not feel, they may not be, they may not be sensitive for this. Okay, they may be fine, but when we use it for people, they may get affected. So what do? We convert these model organisms. Okay, we make them transgenic models, where we try to suppress the gene for the sensitivity. Okay, that means it will become hypersensitive. Okay, this transgenic model will become hypersensitive. That means we have suppressed its immune response. Okay, against this particular chemical. Okay, so that is what is. So it says transgenic animals can be made more sensitive. So we are suppressing its immunity and we are making it to hypersensitive. Okay, so transgenic model will be more sensitive than non-transgenic animals. So this is absolutely right. This is a right statement. Why? Because if we suppress its immunity, then only we can see what can be the toxic effect of this particular chemical. Okay, so that is correct. So option B says toxicity test in transgenic animals will allow us to obtain result in less time, because we have suppressed its immunity. So sometimes what happens when we introduce the medicine in an organism, in the normal organism, non-transgenic organism, it may not show the effect then and there. So it takes time for the body to recognize it and produce antibodies against it or show the allergic reaction. Right? For that, it takes time. So what do? We make this transgenic model where we suppress their, immune response, and we make them highly sensitive. Okay, so that will help us to get result within less time. So that is also correct. Option C says transgenic animals carry additional genes that make them more favorable for testing. Yes. So we introduce our genes so as to suppress so as to make this transgenic model organism more favorable or suitable for testing. Okay. So that is also correct. Option D says the producer of testing toxicity of drugs is different from the chemical safety testing. So it is not producer, it is procedure. The procedure of testing toxicity of drugs is different from chemical safety testing. So actually both mean the same, because chemical safety testing is also known as toxicity testing. Okay, toxicity testing. Okay, so both mean the same. So option B says that it is different, but both mean the same and the procedure is the same, because the meaning of the test. You can either call it as chemical safety testing, or you can also call it as toxicity testing. Both means the same. So, but option D says they are not same. The procedure is not the same. So it is incorrect. So this should be our correct answer because we are looking for false statement. So what is the correct answer? So let us conclude. The correct answer is option B. I hope you understood the explanation. Thank you.